If you're watching this, if you can stay at home, please do. We are, okay, you're looking at another explosion right here. This is another explosion.
Part of the tower coming down?
Part of the Twin Tower obviously folding, coming crashing down. We're looking at another explosion right in the same area. Another explosion.
CNN is now reporting that there was a third explosion at the World Trade Center, probably an explosion from the ground that caused World Trade Center 1 to collapse on top of itself. Again, there was a third explosion. It's unclear what caused it, whether...
Mayor Giuliani is also here, of course, and he was preparing to speak earlier this morning, but of course that was prior to all of the secondary blasts.
Everyone's trying to get close. Everyone's trying to get pictures of the World Trade Center on fire. They started screaming, get back, there's another explosion happening. I guess they were being warned on their radios that the top was going to come down since it was burning.
Another explosion, a fourth explosion out the World Trade Center has gone up. One doesn't know if that's an ancillary thing because of what already happened or an additional explosion of some kind outside of that.
After the second tower went down, I was trying to make my way to a CBS crew. I don't know what it was, John, but another explosion, a rolling blast of fire, a rolling column of fire towards us.
Was this from the first rolling blast or the second?
John, I looked at my watch. It was about 10:44 is what my watch said. So it was after the second, I think the second tower explosion.
All right, Carol.
There's also a new report right now, you're not going to believe this, of a fire on the Washington Mall. So there's now 2 targets in the Washington area. First the Pentagon, and now a fire on the Washington Mall. CNN is now, believe it or not, reporting an explosion on Capitol Hill. The explosion happened after Capitol Police had started to evacuate the Capitol. We don't know if any of the senators or representatives were still in the building when the explosion happened. That makes 2 explosions and a fire in Washington.
The State Department official has confirmed that a car bomb exploded outside the State Department. There is obviously a coordinated effort and some sort of assault here on the United States.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, in case you just missed it, the Pentagon has been hit by a plane. Witnesses saw a tail of a plane strike the Pentagon. As you look live at New York City.
John, we understand you had some of a view
Yes, sir.
of what had happened.
And I could see this huge plume of smoke going straight up into the sky. So I started freaking because of the World Trade Center. Yeah, and then I saw on television that apparently, possibly a helipad at the Pentagon had been blown up.
Just a catastrophe there. As we know, part of the Pentagon has collapsed after an apparent car bomb there. All the bridges and tunnels are closed into and out of the city. Apparent car bomb at the Pentagon. Part of the Pentagon has now collapsed. City Hall has been evacuated.
We're hearing from intelligence sources that there were actually 8 planes that were hijacked and that 5 are still in the air. So that means that we've only heard from 3 planes, the 2 that hit the World Trade Center, the 1 that hit the Pentagon.
And what we heard about 20 minutes ago from a man who identified himself as a member of the White House advance staff, he came up to me and he said that he'd heard that a 3rd plane was coming in. Now, shortly after that, a police captain came up to me and urged us to get out of the area. He also said that their word from Washington was that a 3rd plane was coming in.
Again, we do have a report that one of the 8 planes that have been hijacked is on its way somewhere near Dulles Airport, some target in the Texas area. Back to you, Lisa and Michael.
We do know that the American Airlines is now saying they have lost contact with 2 more flights. 2 more flights that may have been hijacked. They have lost contact with the pilots on both those planes, and we'll get more information as soon as we can. Well, first of all, there are now reports from CBS News that a plane apparently has crashed at or near Camp David, the weekend White House, if you will. But our latest report is that the Air Force did force down yet another plane near or at Camp David that was targeting the Pentagon. Also, a report from Another key element here as we try to piece together who did this and why it happened. It has been pointed out it is the anniversary, September 11th, of the Camp David Accords. Again, speculation that the reason this attack has taken place is in retaliation for U.S. support of the Israeli government.
It comes just a few weeks before there was supposed to be a major world gathering of Jewish leaders on the 23rd of September that was supposed to be bringing in people from all around the country and around the world to voice support for Israel in its battles with the Palestinians. In fact, all of the Israeli leaders were expected to attend, and it was expected to try to send a message to the United Nations, which has its opening session at that time, that Israel needed support.
Also, a report from CBS News that just 3 weeks ago, Osama bin Laden, the most wanted terrorist in the world, had promised an unprecedented attack on U.S. interests because of this country's support for the nation of Israel. Again, that was just 3 weeks ago. So far, we do know that one well-known terrorist or pro-Arab, anti-Israel faction has denied responsibility for this attack.
What we're also being told is that the likelihood of this attack is that it's a coordinated attack that was brought together by various Middle East groups that were acting together, possibly in concert with Osama bin Laden. So far, no group has claimed responsibility, but it's clear from the breadth of these attacks that it had been in the planning for quite some time, months, possibly a year, and it's probably in retaliation for U.S. support for the Israeli government. Again,
You're just joining us at 11:12 this morning on this September 11th. And then shortly after that, Michael, one of the towers collapsed suddenly. Tower number 2 collapsed around 10 o'clock this morning, and then tower number 1 collapsed around 10:30 this morning.
Followed by a plane crash at the Pentagon, partial collapse there at the Pentagon as well. A fire at Washington Mall, which at this point the source had not been determined, and an explosion at the State Department, which had been called a car bomb. And as Todd McDermott just reported a moment ago, another plane crash, perhaps CBS News reporting now, at Camp David. And there has been some speculation that today is the anniversary of the Camp David peace accords, and perhaps this may be in retaliation for those accords. In addition, there was a large plane crash also being reported by the AP at Somerset County Airport, which is 80 miles southwest, or rather southeast of Pittsburgh.
And we're not sure about that 767 that was reported hijacked from Pittsburgh that was approaching Northern Virginia Airport. Could that be the one that crashed in Camp David? We're not sure. We're trying to get confirmation on exactly.
This is a horrific situation you're watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a child watching and you do not have a parent there, I don't know what to advise you.